to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Anderson's going to give us our words of encouragement today.
Lord God, we thank you for this day, the opportunity to gather together. We ask you to lead and guide these proceedings and bring us a spirit of unity and direction. We give you thanks and for all things. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. Roll call, please.
Mayor Milan.
I am here.
Councilmember Anderson.
Here.
Councilmember Sampson.
Here.
Councilmember Shepherd. Here. That is a quorum.
Thank you. First thing we're going to do is approve our agenda. And I'm going to ask that we pull off the item for appointment of Joshua Solomon to the Planning Commission, just so that we can introduce Joshua to you. He's here. He can answer any questions anyone may have. So I would also ask that we put that maybe, I guess item 9A before new business, if that's
Sure.
agreeable for everyone.
Are you pulling off or moving it?
Moving him,
Okay.
pulling him off of there and moving him to there.
Support.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
Great. Next, we will go into consideration of approving the following consent agenda. Minutes of the regular city council meeting held on Tuesday, September 6, 2022, as presented, and a list of bills in the amount of $15,522. $15,522,892.37. And I feel like we probably should have pulled that too, just because it's a super huge number and it's outside of our ordinary. So if you want to call
You make a motion?
an exception to our meeting order and just allow our city manager to speak right now, which if we agree that it's an exception, we could get a quick answer and keep it here and then move on.
That is because that is the payouts to the taxing jurisdictions that we collect revenues for,
Yes, I figured that was such, but.
to include the city itself.
Right, so it's exceedingly high
Sure.
beyond our normal expenditures, and I didn't want anyone to think that we just looked at that and said, hey, go ahead, pay it. There is a reason for it, so if everyone's content with that explanation, you want to approve as is, we will move to approve.
Support.
Go ahead.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Milan.
Yes,
Councilman Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you.
thank you. Our bills have been paid and we agreed. Next up will be presentations and proclamations. The first item, we will have an update from our Clawson Chamber of Commerce, Terry.
Hi, I am Terry Poduska. I'm the Executive Director for the Clawson Chamber of Commerce. And I just want to give you an update as to what's going on with the Chamber throughout the city. Once a month, we have a Business of the Month. For the month of September, we did Kramer Funeral Homes. They've been in business for 50 years or 70 years. So we presented them with the Business of the Month from us. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Soza Restaurant, which was a new restaurant in 2021, has been voted top 50 best new restaurants in the United States by Bon Appetit, which is an amazing feat. Cloverleaf Pizza finally opened next door to Big B Coffee. This Thursday, September 22nd, we're going to have a ribbon cutting for Clawson Auto Sales. They're going to have a grand reopening and a 7th anniversary at 11:30. I have invited you all. On this coming Saturday, September 24th, Miners Den is having a 50th anniversary party. Even though they're in Royal Oak, they are huge supporters of Clawson. And we're having a ribbon cutting there at 2 p.m., and then they have cocktails and food and stuff like that. Saturday, October 1st is our 16th annual Clawson Claws and Paws, which will be at Clawson City Park. Wednesday, October 5th is our Chamber Coffee Connection. And if you guys ever have the opportunity to attend, it's at 8:30 in the morning. This month it's going to be here at the Chamber office. It's a great opportunity to meet with local businesses and residents. We have a ribbon cutting, first anniversary, and an open house at Unplug and Paint Sale on Saturday, October 15th at 9:30. We have our charity auction, October 21st. 75% of our revenue comes from fundraising, so it's very important. If you guys want to come, please attend. We're also having a ribbon cutting and grand opening for Hot Works, which is located in the apartment building next to Ace, October 27th at 2 p.m. Got any questions or anything for me?
No questions, but we really do appreciate all you do for our businesses and for our community, and thank you for your support, Terry.
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is a presentation from the Knights of Columbus regarding solicitation for charitable events.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and citizens of Clawson. Yes, the Knights of Columbus have been in town since 1957, and they've been holding their charitable activity of seeking donations from the general public about town several times on the intersections of Main and 14 Mile, which we have tendency not to do anymore. It's a little dangerous out there as far as we're concerned because we're all getting old and we're not as quick as we used to be. But we stand in front of several businesses. We ask for a donation. We hand them a Tootsie Roll. And this Tootsie Roll has the Knights of Columbus name on it. So I'm here. I was invited to come by your manager and assistant manager just to say hello because we haven't said hello probably in a long time. We've been in town. We participate in the 4th of July parade. We do good things around town. I don't live in town, but I almost feel like I do because I go to church in town here at Guardian Angel. I go shopping. Ace, you can't, any job I do at the house for plumbing or electrical, it's always a 3-trip going to the Ace Hardware to get something to make the repairs or repair what I broke when I was trying to make the repairs. And of course, I'm a Knight. So I thank you very much for all the years that you've been allowed us to solicit donations throughout your community. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to talk to you about them, about us.
Does anyone have any questions? Well, we thank you for your service to the community of Clawson and you for your support of our local businesses. And you are definitely an honorary Clawson member, whether you live here or not. We appreciate those who support us. We're all one big family. So
Great.
Thank you for taking time out to come meet with us tonight.
Thank you
Appreciate
very much.
it. Thank
Good
you.
night.
So I made an error, which I know everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she made an error again. But I forgot public comment, so I'm going to put a hold on things for a moment and say that if anyone would like to speak for public comment for items that are on the agenda, now is the opportunity. You may come to the podium, state your name and your address, and we'll give you 3 minutes. So if there's anyone here who would like to do that, we welcome you now. Seeing nobody moving this way, I'm going to say thanks for not having anyone who wanted to speak because I feel way better about skipping public discussion since there was no one ready, right? Good for that. Next, we're going to move on to a proclamation recognizing September 2020 as National Recovery Month. Whereas, according to the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, in 2020, 40.3 million people aged 12 or older had a substance use disorder in the past year, including 28.3 million who had alcohol use disorder, 18.4 million who had an illicit drug use disorder, and 6.5 million people who had both alcohol and use disorder and an illicit drug use disorder. And according to SAMHSA, in 2020, 22.2% of Americans, or 61.6 million people, 12 years or older, were binge alcohol users in the past month. The percentage was highest among young adults aged 18 to 25. And according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly 92,000 overdose deaths occurred in the United States in 2020, which was a 31% increase from 2019. And substance use recovery is important for individual well-being and vitality, as well as for families, friends, communities, and businesses. And OCHN continues to educate and raise awareness of the risks and potential harm associated with the prescription drug misuse and stigma and stereotypes associated with substance use disorders often keep people from seeking treatment that could improve their quality of life. And substance use disorders occur when the recurrent use of alcohol and/or other drugs cause clinically or functionally significant impairment, such as health problems, disability, and failure to meet major responsibilities at work, school, or home. And substance abuse use disorder recovery is a journey of healing and transformation, enabling people to live in a community of their choice while striving to achieve his or her full potential. And substance use disorder recovery benefits individuals with substance use disorders by focusing on their abilities to live, work, learn, and fully participate and contribute to society, and also enriches the community cultures. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Oakland County Community Health Network hereby recognizes September 22 as National Recovery Month. And I think we're going to change that to the City of Clawson hereby recognizes September 22 as National Recovery Month. And the City of Clawson, in concert with the Oakland County Community Health Network, call upon our citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools to recommit our state to increasing awareness and understanding of substance abuse and the need for appropriate and accessible services to promote recovery. This is something that the City of Clawson and each of us should stand firmly behind because this affects so many families on so many levels. So thank you to all the people who are standing in the back this evening. You can't see them, but it's our police force who deal with issues every day that stem from something that comes out of something like this. So just so you know, we appreciate you, and we'd like to help eradicate that problem, if nothing else, to make your jobs easier, right? Next thing we have is a very happy thing for us today, which is a proclamation recognizing Clawson Police Patrol Officer John Reinhardt's retirement from the Clawson Police Department after 23 years of service. Mr. Reinhardt, would you like to come forward? Officer Reinhardt, sorry. I will say the wrong title, whatever. Whereas, this is a recognizing the retirement of Officer John Reinhardt. Whereas mentored by a highly respected law enforcement professional, Barnett Jones, who would later become chief of Sterling Heights and Ann Arbor Police Departments, John Reinhardt looked up to law enforcement officers and felt compelled to pursue a career in law enforcement. Whereas John chose to attend the Oakland County Police Academy and began his law enforcement career in 1991 when he was hired by the Lake Angeles Police Department, and whereas John worked for Lake Angeles until 1993 when he joined the Lincoln Park Police Department, seeking to be closer to family. John sought employment with a department that was community-oriented and in return supported by its community. The City of Clawson was hiring, and he saw this as an opportunity to be a match of his values as he continued his career. And whereas the Clawson Police Department welcomed Officer Reinhardt to its ranks in November of 1999, during his successful law enforcement career, he has served as union president of the Patrol Officers Union, worked as a DARE officer, gang officer, school liaison officer, evidence tech, detective, and most notably, field training officer, where he trained over 30 former and current Clawson police officers to include some of the command officers since 2002. And whereas he had been the recipient of numerous letters of appreciation by residents, letters of commendation from his department, and tonight will be recognized as 2022 Police Officer of the Year. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Milan, on behalf of the City Council, city staff, the Clawson Police Department family, and every resident of the City of Clawson, wish you continued success and health as you move on to the next chapter of your life. We thank you for your loyalty and your dedication to the Clawson community since 1999 and for your 31 years of law enforcement service. Let it be known that you have made a positive impact on the communities and departments you have served, and we are sorry to see you go, but we're really happy for you for this next journey that you'll be embarking upon. Now I would like to ask Officer Smith to come forward, and I would also like to ask your wife and your son to come forward, and I would like for you to be able to get a full video of all of this, so feel free to come stand in front of us so that you can get this full on. Yeah, sure, wherever you're comfortable. You go wherever you will get, you can either be in it or go where you'll get a great picture, whatever you want to do for your future posterity.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of council. In association with the proclamation, I'd like to present the following award. Although police awards are not normally selected until later in the year, an exception was made in this case. Officer Reinhardt is highly respected by his fellow officers and command officers who unanimously nominate him for Police Officer of the Year. The Police Officer of the Year is awarded for providing outstanding police services to the citizens of Clawson with the highest order of integrity and dependability and in a manner that exemplifies the goals of the department. Officer Reinhardt has been assigned as a field training officer since 2002. Field training officer, or FTO, means an experienced police officer who provides on-the-job training and supervision of probationary police officers during the field training and evaluation program, while also serving as a patrol officer. During his career, as we said, Officer Reinhardt has trained over 30 officers. During 2021-22, the police department hired 6 new officers with limited or no experience. FTOs have been counted on more than ever during this time, and Officer Reinhardt demonstrated his dedication to the community by mentoring and tirelessly ensuring that these officers were positioned to succeed, meet professional standards, and enhance department services to the community. For his collective dedication and commitment to the community, Officer John Reinhardt is hereby awarded the Police Officer of the Year award on this 20th day of September 2022.
Can we get another photo of you? We'll hand you this, and then I would like all council to join in, city manager, if you don't mind. One more. And then would you like to get one with your family?
Please, too.
Oh, sure, go right ahead.
Want to do it now?
Yeah, go ahead.
One of the reasons I became a police officer is because I wanted to be part of something that would make a difference in people's lives. I always believe that. That's what officers do. They become the sign of something safe, the guardians, the helpers in the community. My father served in World War II, and I remember telling him back 31 years ago that I was going to be a police officer. He said, "You're going to be in the service of your community now, and I'm very proud of you." I understand that the service represents a community and a sign of keeping the peace for the citizens of that community. Every day I've worked the road in Clawson, somebody has waved at me, said hello, or thanked me for being in their service, or for their service, for my service. It just shows that the community supports this police department. And they've done it over and over again, almost every day I've worked, restaurants, everywhere I go. I just wish to thank the citizens of Clawson for making me a part of the community and for their support of its officers. This is an excellent group of Clawson officers. I've gotten to work with all of them, and they're my other family. They're my extended family when I'm not here. They've been supportive, professional. They've always been there for me, on and off the job. I thank them, I miss them, I will miss them, and I wish them a safe and happy career. I want to thank my wife and family for their support. I tried not to bring the job home, but they were always there, even when I did. And I want to thank the council, mayor, city manager, and the chief. So thank you very much.
Get it in the middle there? Okay. And then council, and then once we get council, we'll get your brothers and sisters in blue.
Well, you guys go first. Get your family in there. Let's do that one. Then if the officers would like to come? And the former officers? The casual officers? Well, it's Clawson, always
You're better distant.
I'll take it.
Who can I hide behind?
It might be annoying to do one more with council with this group too.
Yeah.
So, just for one.
I went back, so. Oh, sorry. Yeah, lobster.
Okay.
We have a couple slide over a little bit on that side.
You know someone wants to lay on the floor. I just know someone.
Okay, Joe, you're not in it.
Alex?
I got it right here. Do you guys want to slide in with me as well? You guys want to stay?
There he goes. You don't have to keep calling.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Thank you. The club, you will enjoy the 18th of every month.
Is it Step Brothers he's wearing that shirt? No, it's Talladega Nights. He's wearing a Pablo Cruz shirt when he puts the cooler in the car.
If anyone's sitting in the audience and they feel like they didn't get included in a photo, please raise your hand. We'll make sure you get an opportunity as well. There's a few out there.
Just holler.
Thank you very much for everyone showing up tonight for that. It was really a great thing to celebrate today. So now we are going to go back to, pleasure to introduce you to an appointment. We have on the agenda an appointment for Joshua Solomon to the City Planning Commission for the unexpired term of Daniel Yell, set to expire December 31st, 2024. If anyone recalls, Danielle was on and then had some things, he just decided he didn't have the time to put into planning right now, and he didn't want to cheat out planning and whatever. So he's not with us right now. And Mr. Solomon had submitted an application probably prior to my becoming mayor, and he has been extremely persistent in saying, hello, I'm interested and willing, what the heck, but not that, he said it way nicer. So I wanted to give him the opportunity to come before us tonight, and I would like for you all to meet him. He has an excellent resume, he's energetic, he's worked on the sustainability committee somewhat. So Josh, why don't you come forward and share a little bit about yourself for our council, please? No pressure.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate the time tonight. Joshua Solomon. I've moved here back in 2019 with my wife. You can probably see me about town, walking the neighborhood or downtown with my dog, Juno, and my wife. Really just wanted to get more involved with the city. So I spent about 3 or 4 years in Royal Oak previously. And that's a big city to get involved in, but I tried it there. But I figured when I moved to Clawson, I figured it was a good opportunity for me to make an impact on a city that hopefully I'll call home for a long time. I know it's a very tight-knit community, so it's even a little bit daunting to come into a neighborhood where a lot of established lifers live, and I know I see some familiar faces just walking around the neighborhood. So again, we're young, but I've had the opportunity to get involved in a few different ways. Sustainability committee was one way, so I've worked with Glenn in that respect. I also did some work on the alley downtown with Joan and the others in the DDA. So as much as I can put forward effort, I've been trying, but I want to do something a little more formal. So that's why I've been reaching out for an opportunity quite like this one. If you guys want to know more about my background, I'm happy to talk about my job and all that stuff. But basically, it entails me being a very curious person, motivated, project manager. I work with a lot of the top insurance companies, Liberty Mutual, Progressive, Hartford, those type of guys. I do data research. I do consulting. I do project management. So basically, I'm the interface for JD Power, which is one of the most probably renowned market research firms. So I have the opportunity to help them improve their customer experience. So JD Power is the voice of the customer. I try to bring that forward. So in most aspects of my life, I try to consider, the end customer, and I would do that here in this role as well. Try to do better for whoever I can.
Motion.
Pardon me?
One motion.
Sure, does anyone have any questions? Well, yeah, go ahead and make the motion.
Mayor, I make a motion to appoint Joshua Sullivan to the City Planning Commission for the unexpired term of Daniel Yell, set to expire on December 31st, 2024.
Support.
Okay. Any comments or questions for Mr. Solomon?
I'd just say that I've had the opportunity to work with Joshua through. It's been mostly remotely during COVID, but the meetings that we've had, you've had a great deal to contribute to that. I've been impressed with what you've brought to the table for the Sustainability Committee, and I would expect that you'd be able to do that moving into a role for the Planning Commission. So I expect great things from you, right? So,
No pressure.
So.
I like your dog.
You have a great dog, too.
I met your wife. She seems really nice.
Yes.
What else? What else we have? Come on.
No,
So,
I look
yeah.
forward to meet everyone who I have not had the opportunity to as well. So I'll stick around for a minute after if you guys have a second.
Wonderful. And just so you know, Greg Kucera, Greg, we don't wave, is our planning chair. So you will be seeing a lot of Greg in the future after we vote to approve you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you for your willingness to serve, and we welcome you to the Planning Commission. It's a great place. I served there. Glenn has served. It's an exceptional place to learn so much about this community, and I wish you well. And
Thank you
thank
very
you for
much.
what you'll do for us. Appreciate it.
Congratulations.
Yes. Next on our agenda will be new business. Does anyone have, it says none on here, so I guess we have none.
That was it. You
Pardon
made
me?
that new business. You put that on new business, so.
I did actually, right, yeah. Sorry, it could have been E for the last one, but I put it at D. So that was exceptional new business. Thank you for making that happen. Next is old unfinished business. If anyone has any old unfinished business, I'd like to.
There was something that came up. Maybe I can save it for my comments. Or maybe I can bring it up now. It's new business. If we have a fun run at our elementary school, can we block off the streets for that? And what would be required? Or do we need to have the Kenwood PTO come up and present their case for doing something like that?
I think have the sponsoring organization contact the office and we'll work it out internally.
Okay.
Anything else? Okay, next we have public comments for items not on the agenda. We are clear there as well. We'll move on to the city attorney's report.
Madam Mayor, very briefly, I just wanted to thank council for having the workshop last night. I thought it was very helpful. Other than that, I wanted to just give a personal note, having worked with Officer Reinhardt. I'm going to say that I will miss him. He is one of the finest officers this community has had. He's been here all along, and I've known him from before joining Clawson in any capacity, and I thought the world of him, and I will miss him. Other than that, unless you have any questions, that's all for tonight.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for our city attorney? Thank you. Then we'll move on to our city manager's report.
Yes, ma'am. Please recall at our last council meeting, I provided an update on my process to select the next police chief. In that explanation, I shared that a major component of that process was an impartial interview panel. Since my selection process is now complete, I will share the following. That 4-member interview panel collectively had over 137 years of public administration and public safety experience. The members were Mr. Mark Wallenweber, who served as chairman of the interview panel. Mr. Wallenweber recently received a Lifetime Achievement Award through the Michigan Municipal Executives Association, as he has served as a city manager in several Southeast Michigan communities over the course of his career, and he is currently retired. He actually assisted me in recruiting Mrs. Christine Burns, who is the village manager of Spring Lake Village, located on the west side of the state. Also served on the interview panel were Director John Kosenke of Grosse Pointe Woods Public Safety Department and Police Chief Nicole Ford of Midland, Michigan. Their assessments, individually and collectively, along with Interim Chief Smith's perspective and my interviews, were all part of the process. Through this process, I've selected Sergeant Kelly Baus to succeed Interim Chief Vince Smith. This news was shared with the council and staff on September 9th. As previously shared, there are numerous milestones that will be achieved and progressed upon under the remaining watch of Interim Chief Vince Smith. The anticipated time frame for Sergeant Baus to assume command and become Chief of Police is May of next year. I intend to have a formal change of charge ceremony that will be open to the Clawson community. Pending any questions, that's my city manager's comments.
Why the length of time?
Pardon me?
Why May?
Pardon me?
Microphone, sir.
Why wait until May?
As I pointed out in my previous memos, we have several milestones as far as training goes that will set the new incoming police chief up for success, as all of our field training officer candidates will have gone through the process. Sergeant training has to be underway, and then also Sergeant Baus will go through chief's training as well, and then also Sergeant Horn will complete command and staff training.
So I'm assuming during this time that Chief Smith will continue to function as the police chief during this interim time.
It's absolutely accurate. That's what my memos have indicated all along.
Are you content?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you have anything else for us?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And does anyone have any questions for the city manager? Okay, I would like to address with the city manager, as far back as August 19th, I sent you a request for information. I've sent it at least twice. I included all of city council when I submitted this request to you because I understand that sometimes you don't want to act on behalf of one member of council. So I'm going to formally request this information, and I will ask for a motion to approve it by our council so that we can move forward. I requested, you provided us with a detailed salary data, and upon review of it, it did not seem to align with Clawson current salaries. I asked that you please provide an update that shows actual current salaries for the positions shown. I also asked that you provide the assistant city manager job description and salary range. I asked for that in a public open meeting, and it was not provided, so I added it back into this request. I requested an electronic copy because you provided us a copy when we were here, but I probably shredded mine, to be honest. And I said, if you have the original information that council passed a while back to create the position of assistant city manager, I would like that as well. I also, in reference to the contract for the treasurer, we were told when she came in that we would have a contract within roughly a month. My question was, why would it take a month to create a contract? I asked for you to provide council with the contracts of our city manager, our former city treasurer, and if that did not exist, a summary of her compensation and benefits package would be fine. I asked for our city clerk's contract, and then I said this will allow council an idea what is included in our contracts and provide a basis for determining what to expect, including for Lisa and anyone else moving forward, and that way we can provide our thoughts to you for consideration. on the contract and perhaps expedite the process. It's been more than a month at that point. We still have yet to see a contract, and this information has not been provided. Regarding the position in Building and Safety or Economic Development Coordinator, I'm not sure what the correct title is in that department, but several of us were apprised in the public, at a public event, that a transaction had occurred amongst City Hall that would potentially create a massive change in that department. It was awkward being at a public event and being asked that information and only being able to say, I have not heard anything. I asked that you provide council an update on how you intend to mitigate the situation. And as you know, we have heard repeatedly that staffing is scarce at City Hall, and my statement was that this will only exacerbate that problem. One more thing was, please provide the highlighted sections of the budget to account for the increase in the salaries that we have increased, such as our assistant city manager, adding an additional person in the treasurer's office, and the budget for whatever is expected for the building and safety department changes. I was asking for simple line items would work, so we just know how these were planned for and will not be budget amendments. I also requested a list of any staff who were not afforded a raise during the most recent budget session. I will pass this down. I'll pass 2 copies. And I would like to make a motion that you provide the city council with this information within 1 week.
Second.
Roll call, please.
I'm going to need a copy of that because I didn't write all that down. Okay, so
You have to get the one that has my scribbles.
that's fine. Councilmember Shepherd.
No.
Councilmember Anderson. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson. Motion
Thank you.
passes.
I would like to make another motion. I would like to make a motion that at any point, if any member of this council makes a request to you for information, a request to our city manager, to our city attorney, to our city clerk, to any city, I will keep it at that, those 3 positions, that a response is provided in a timely fashion to all of council. I'm not asking that any one member of council be provided information that another member of council is not provided. The reason I'm asking for this is we are 4 separate individuals with 4 separate thought processes, and we each represent often different thought processes and different individuals. Our job is to have information and be able to make decisions on behalf of this community who elected us to the best of our ability. And if we are not provided the information that we have questions on individually, we're not allowed to do that. So I'd like to make the motion that if you are requested information by any individual member, that you, these 3
The person
positions.
speaking is council?
Pardon me?
The person speaking is council
Yes.
requesting that?
Yes, that if any member of council individually requests information, that you provide that information to council as a whole. That you don't, that there's not a, council acts as a body, therefore I cannot provide you with information. Council will act as a body in enacting right? We can only act as a body here as far as implementing something for our community. We can't do that individually, but we can get information from you. And the unwillingness to share information doesn't seem fruitful, it doesn't seem cooperative, and it seems like it's not in the best interest of those of us who are here trying to do a good job. And I see that you're giving me that look, that you're confused. Tell me how I can help you here.
I'll second that motion so we can talk about it.
Thank you. Did you have questions, Mr. Raker?
No, I'm not confused at all. I think that for the most part, a lot of what you've requested, much of it has been provided to some extent. It hasn't been provided exactly in verbatim in response to your email, but I'll get that to you. I'll get that information to you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Roll call, please.
Oh,
wait, sorry.
How's the motion read? So we know.
What I have is that any request for information from the city manager, clerk, or city attorney be responded to, and that's all I
Any
got.
request from a city council member to those positions shall be responded
From
to.
individual council members.
Yes, but the response will be to council in its entirety, right? That's all of our goal, is that we don't have individual
I would say
comments.
that fundamentally is opposed to this form of government where one person can make a email request and task me unilaterally based on the fact that you're making this motion that one speaks for all in an email environment.
We're talking about information, requests for information. I was
Takes
not
time and
saying.
energy and
I did
takes
not
effort.
say that I was going to, that is not to be confused with tasking anyone to proceed or make changes or do anything like that.
Your first
We're
email
talking
had a
about
copious amount of
information.
requests in it.
Mr. Raker, what part of it was difficult? Explain to me what part of that was difficult. Your responsibility was to probably garner that information from other people. None of it was difficult. And even if it was difficult, it's been over a month and you have yet to reply. You didn't even reply.
I acknowledged at the last meeting, you brought it up.
I did.
I said, I will address it. You forwarded it to me. I acknowledged it. It's still in work.
That's been 2 weeks ago. What does it take to get information? And I guess that's my next question. I would like to resolve this one because I have one more motion to make.
Let's vote on it.
Roll call, please.
Well, hold on a second. Question on, where does this ride against the charter? Is there anything that the charter says that this is not something that we can move forward with?
Well, so I think the information, seeking information, obviously, there's nothing on the charter as far as seeking information.
Sure.
The information makes sense that anytime any member of council requests information about, topics that are discoverable, and the rule that I've always utilized is there are subject to FOIA that would be given out pursuant to a FOIA request. Members of council should receive as a matter of course. Tasks would operate differently. I think the city manager's point with respect to task is different because the body acts. When you demand a task be done, the body has to move, has to file a motion, and there has to be a vote of the body, and the body can only do that in open session.
I thought I was clear in that I was not requesting tasks. I know the difference, and thank you for explaining it that way because it's true. I'm asking,
The
is it
compilation
reserved
of that
to
information in itself is a large task, and it will be done.
I find it problematic that it's difficult to get information. And I want the same thing for everyone. I don't come to your office and have conversations with you. I don't call you on the phone. I don't because you have things to do and I don't want to disrupt. I send you an email because it's relatively succinct and it states what I am requesting. That's it. We're going to have a meeting tonight, and there's one reason we're having our second meeting tonight, and I'm not prepared to address that question that's going to come up in our second meeting tonight because you failed to give me the information that I wanted to be able to allow me to make a sound decision. So I'm just saying, your responsibility to us is a responsibility to us. And I'm not asking this body to act inappropriately by tasking you with tasks or anyone else with tasks. I've been around here for 5 years, and I think anyone who's been here knows I don't do that. Nick, if I've even asked you to do something, I'm like, I'm really sorry, I have to ask you, right? And it's never been anything inappropriate. And that goes for you, August. You can state that as well. I have not overstepped my responsibility for any of our administrative staff.
Since we're having this public conversation,
follow the
then
vote
what
right now.
exactly did I not provide that is going to not enable you to make a decision on your responsibility to assess the performance of the city clerk?
I can assess performance, but
Okay.
this meeting is hardly about performance. It's been stated in public meeting and other public meetings, actually, most recently, that there's an issue, and I don't want to discuss that here. We'll discuss that in a private meeting.
There's two issues. One's going to be in closed session. Let's vote on this one.
Thank you. Let's have a roll call, please.
Before I have a question. Are we getting hung up on the semantics between a task and a request for information? I think Mr. Raker's implied that both require resources on his part, but I don't think, they're not the same thing. I mean, Rennis, you basically said that we can ask for information, and for that, the mayor is simply requesting that when the request for information is responded to, that all of us are copied. I don't think there's any issue with that. Am I correct, Mr. Raker?
When it comes to the sharing of information for council, I typically do share it with all of council. When it comes to response of particular complaints, what I do is I include the member that brought it to my attention, is what I do. I don't include you in all, because then I've had experiences in the past where other people's perspectives and commentaries and observations come into play, and it just muddies the water. So if any council members ever brought a complaint by a citizen to my attention, I bring it back to their attention as far as having addressed it.
I understand. So if they bring a complaint to you, you address it one-on-one. But if it's a request for information, you'll copy the whole council.
And the only one email concern I think that we're dealing with here is the one the mayor is talking about. It's not like there is a history here.
Okay. So, with that,
I'd like to see concerns.
Me too.
I'd like to see it. If you, somebody tells you that they got a concern and you answer it, I'd like to see it.
I'd actually like it included in the Friday report. I personally feel that if one resident brings forth a complaint, it's not one resident, right? It's that whole, there's a percentage thing. You know, if one person complains, there's generally more that are experiencing the same thing. And I think that would be a really great thing that you could add to your Friday report. And I will give you credit. Your last Friday report was exceptional. You actually gave us some information. I really appreciate
I
it.
actually give you information every Friday, ma'am.
Pardon me?
I said I actually give you information every Friday, ma'am.
Sometimes it's extremely light.
Some weeks are different than others.
Okay, can we vote on this?
okay, well,
I just want to go, before we do that, again, I want to make sure that we're understanding what, gathering information, how it's not a task. I want to understand what that, where we stand on that. Is it a task or is it not a task?
A task would be us telling him to make a change to something or to
So,
proceed with
the-
something. Something that would have to come before us on a normal basis would be a task,
Okay,
right?
so-
Me asking for the budgetary information or for job descriptions or whatever, that is in asking for information. That is not a task. That is not asking him to do something that only this body collectively can do. That's me taking the information that's before us and saying, wow, I wonder what this is and this is so that I can make my answer be appropriate and educated when we come back before the council to therefore make a decision that we would do collectively, right?
Each person has a different amount of information they need. You know, I may be ready to vote yes. You might have something, so if I just cut you off, but you really need something, I'd say let's wait until you have it so that you can vote. The
And
way
you have done that.
Right or
That's
no.
good.
So,
I guess my point to this is that when you're asking for information, sometimes the amount of information would take a amount of time that may be the equivalent of a task, and that's something that I don't know if we have the opportunity for a city manager to take time out devoted to gathering information that says it may take 4 hours, and how that's not viewed as a task.
That's different. It's not, how much time it takes him isn't the task, right? I mean, technically, it's a task for him to
Well, then
take
we have
on-
it's a task.
No. What we have to be worried about as this body is whether or not we are, could you please explain it, Runnus? I know you have the right words.
I'm not sure that I do. I think
The only time we would be in conflict with
think-
giving Mr. Raker a
Well, ma'am, here-
responsibility to act. How about that? To act, right? Not a
Yeah.
task. Like, if I ask him for something, of course, it's going to be a task for him to get it and prepare it, right? Or
Here's
it's going to
the
be a
thing.
task
The
for
problem-
someone.
the fundamental
But we're not
problem-
we're not asking him to act on behalf of council or do something, or to have us act independently to make a decision or to make a play, that it would be a responsibility of council as
But you're
an
implying
entity.
these emails will direct me as a body of a whole. That's, I think, the challenge that I put before you on that, is if one person is like unilaterally then telling me what to do every time, then I don't act to the body, I'm acting to you guys as individuals, which is problematic.
Mr. Raker, we're a body that's made up of, right now,
I know
4
exactly how it's made
people.
up.
I know you are, and I know that you have differing ideas, and that's fine. You may have differing ideas, but your role is to serve at the pleasure of this council. And your
Absolutely.
role is to serve and provide information to this council so that we can make sound decisions, and so that we, in turn, can help you do your job well. And what we want ultimately is for this community to be fiscally sound. We want to take care of our employees. We want it to be safe. We want to take care of our community and build a strong community. In order for all of us to do that, we often need information. And if information is not being shared, we're not able to make sound decisions. I or anyone else should not have to wait 4 weeks for a question or an answer on anything. If this is information that you have previously provided, all you had to do was provide it again. You didn't even put forth the effort for that. I'm not going backwards, okay? You had a reason for not doing it. Fine, you didn't do it. We asked tonight as a body, and you are tasked with doing that.
Amen.
That's fine. Now, I'm asking for us to make a decision as a body if we care. Today, it's my concern. It could be your concern tomorrow. I don't know what conversations you two have had on your own. You may do these things on a walk-in basis or on a telephone call that lasts 20 minutes or 2 hours. I don't know that. I put mine in writing because I feel like it's the right way to do it, right? It's trackable, it's easy for you to understand what I requested, and it's fair and open to everyone here. And if you noticed, I included council on all of my copies to you so that they were aware also of what the request was. I wasn't trying to hide anything from anyone. That's not what I do. So if anyone has no more questions about this.
I'd just like to say, remember, everybody, you can't vote on a task
Right.
until you have information that you need to vote on the task.
I don't think I've put
They're
any
both-
task
they're-
before you that hasn't had information supporting it or hasn't been brought before you a second, third, fourth, or fifth time that would provide
But there
support for
there
this.
may be another piece of information somebody wants.
And then I would retrieve it for you in a timely fashion so that you have it in time to vote on it.
Wait, but when? When you deem it appropriate to send to us or when we deem it appropriate? And if we have to bring something 4, 5, 7, or 9 times before this body to get it rectified, if we're going back and forth, it's because there's not enough information to please us to be able to do our jobs responsibly. That's all
I
we're
would
asking.
disagree
That is
with you
not
on
your
that
call.
one.
You can
I
disagree,
will.
but it's not your call. What makes us comfortable to make the decisions that we have to make. I don't want to get into
Let's call the
a
vote.
power game
I just
about
wanna say one more
what
thing.
information is needed. I'm still talking about what information is needed for us to make a decision. That is an individual thing. And you shouldn't be upset that people want to know, that people want to make a sound decision. You've been
never
here,
said I
how
was
long have you
upset.
been here now, Mr. Raker?
I've never said I was upset
How
about
long have
the
you been
fact that
here?
you want to make a sound decision. I've been here going on 7 months.
Okay, in 7 months, you don't know everything yet. Like, if council asks you a question,
Never, ever
you could
have I
perhaps learn
assumed
a
that.
little bit too. This is like a two-way street, right? It's an iron sharpeneth iron thing. That if you ask a question, I might go, wow, that was a great question. I didn't think of that aspect. We had that in our meeting yesterday. It happens when there's dialogue, when people ask questions. Not asking questions to be sinister, to try and muck up your day. I ask questions
All these
because
things that
I
you're
need
saying
them.
have never, ever came out of my mouth.
I didn't say they came out of your
But
mouth.
you're portraying it that is my posture and attitude, which it is not at all.
You've shown us your posture and your attitude, which is why I made a motion this evening, and I will just keep it at that. Does anyone else have anything they would like to add? I
Yes,
think you were
Madam
trying
Mayor.
to speak.
So my concern is that at some point in time, there may be information request after information request after information request and being used as a tool that may take away from the city manager's tasks of being able to do his job effectively.
Are you going to do that?
And he would need.
Right now, have asked maybe once or twice, and that's been shared with the rest of the council.
Okay,
And I don't
so
even remember
I'm not
that.
going to act in that
So,
behavior.
But I'm just saying that lends itself to that. And my
anybody
concern is that at least it's be shared in open council meeting, that if we need something that we ask, we can do it right here and move forward with it.
But if anybody abuses it, Mr. Riker just has to bring it up council. We can talk about it and revisit it.
And waiting every 2 weeks is sometimes not expedient. We have to put things off. We meet every 2 weeks or 3 weeks sometimes. If we have to
can
bring
have-
everything up in a council meeting, that way, why can't you have the information and come prepared? Like, why not? What is the problem with that?
You do have the information and
Mr. Raker, if I request information, then I'm asking you for information. Therefore, I do not have the information, and I
you
do
have
not feel
received,
prepared.
if
Feel
you can tell me
prepared.
specifically what you do not have for tonight.
We will discuss it in the next
Okay.
portion. Any other comments? Roll call, please. Would you please repeat?
voting?
Yes, please read
Yes.
the motion.
So any requests for information from an individual councilman to the city manager, the clerk, or city attorney will be responded to, the response will be to the whole council.
Will be responded to, and the response will be to the whole council, and it is council member, not councilman. Please, and thank you.
Okay, so that's it.
Matters. Roll call,
Okay?
please.
Council member, I'll have that. Councilmember Anderson,
Yes.
Mayor Milan,
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson,
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd.
No.
Okay, thank you for allowing that to go through. I have one more item I'd like to address. As a result of this conversation here, I would like to make a motion that our city manager provide us with instructions on how he would prefer that council make requests for information, and from not only him, but also from staff, and what the process would be should a request be made, and what our expectation for a timeline for any request should be as well.
Is that a motion?
It is a motion.
I'll second it. Just
Thank
talk
you.
about it.
Discussion? And the reason is because clearly there's concern over what the process is.
Could you repeat the motion?
The motion is that the city manager instructs council on how they should request information, how the request should be made, the process for it, and the timeline for response.
By the next meeting.
By the next meeting. Yes, by the next meeting.
Is it always possible to respond to a request for information by the next council meeting?
No,
No,
This
it's-
is for the next meeting.
You're going to build this process by the.
Oh, you'll be able to process built
Yeah.
by that. I'll second.
Okay.
Well, it is second, sorry. All right.
And the reason for this is, I've spoken with other people who've recently had difficulty getting information for requests that have been made, and they're not certain on what city staff member they can contact, if they have to go through the city manager for a request, if they can go to a department head individually, those kind of concerns. So there's just a line of how you would prefer for that to be handled for boards and commission members, primarily. Any other questions or any questions? Roll call, please.
Mayor Milan.
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd.
No.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And one final thing, Mr. Baker, thanks for letting us know you've been here for 7 months. I think it would be in all of our best interest to sit down and have that meeting that we've not yet really had since you've been here, and talk about roles and responsibilities and goals for moving forward. Therefore, I would like to schedule a review of Mr. Baker, a 6-month annual review sometime in the near future, per the charter, per his agreement.
Full policy
that's-
2001.
What's the number?
2001.
Okay, per policy 2001.
Then you need to read policy 2001, please.
It should be
Everyone.
about 6 months.
Read it closer.
Yep.
Are you
we
saying
have a
you
motion?
do not
I
want to
didn't have a
do a
second.
It's not,
review?
no, you just please read it.
Prentice?
Do we have a second?
I seconded.
2001.
Wait, I made
You
it.
made the motion, that's why I was.
Right.
2001 is the evaluation policy, right?
Per your comment, yes, I guess.
He's trying to tell you you have the number wrong, so how about
I'm
we
not
just
telling you that
erase
at
the
all. I'm just
number?
telling you, please
That's what
make
I
sure
want
you
to
read
correct.
it, is all I've said.
No, or pull the 2001 per the evaluation process. I'll send it to you.
I've read it. I'm just asking everyone to read
Is it
it.
2001?
I don't know if it's 2001. I'm just asking you to read whatever it is you're
Well, let
referencing.
Nick pull it up and see if it's 2001.
It
We want to get
doesn't
it
matter.
right.
Just read the one that was
No.
approved by council. I really don't care about the number, but
Yeah.
read the contents and the frequency
Every quarter.
closely. Thank you.
Every quarter.
Every quarter, which is ridiculous.
No.
So we
No,
gave
but-
you a benefit by not doing it your
Then-
first quarter, because you were really busy. and
This would be
we were
great.
being
I
respectful to
welcome
you.
this. I welcome this on a
No, we
quarterly
do, we all do.
basis.
It's conversation.
It would
We
be
need to have
fantastic.
conversation.
It will be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Is it 2001, Nick?
That's irrelevant. I understand what you're talking about. It's
I'd
the
hate to-
quarterly piece that I
would
was
hate to
suggesting
be
you
wrong.
read closely.
Is it Nick?
It doesn't share on the document that I'm looking at. It might have been the resolution number. I'm not certain, but I think the numbers you pointed, you're going off of the performance evaluation checklist for the city manager, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's the clarity.
I believe we have the authority to request a meeting with you either way, so let's just ignore that, and let's just say we're requesting a meeting with you. It will be beneficial for all of us. Let's schedule it in the next couple of weeks. I don't know what
You
everyone's
can do it after
schedule is.
the next meeting.
What's on the schedule for the next meeting? Anyone know? Okay, yeah, let's do it at the next meeting. Does anyone have any opposition?
Do it at the end.
I mean, I think I'm the one that has say-so in that, and I'm okay with October 4th.
Great, as long as you're okay with it, we will do that. I made the motion, did I get a second? And then we need a roll call.
Will that be a closed session or open?
My discretion.
It is your discussion, he was just asking you, what would you like to do?
Well, you don't have to answer
Yeah,
that now.
I'll answer at the time.
Okay, that's a good thing to do. Okay. Was there a second, or no?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Sampson.
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes, okay, so thank you. We will then have a meeting with our city manager on October 2nd. I think that was the date following our,
October 4th.
October 4th, following the city council meeting. So that was a lot, and thank you for that. Those are things that can help us all do our jobs better. Do we have any other city council comments? Did I ask everyone? That was part of the city manager thing. No city council comments? No? Okay, then, next item on our agenda is consideration of going into closed session to perform the evaluation of the city clerk in accordance with Michigan compiled laws MCL 15.268, Section 8A of the Open Meetings Act.
So move.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Shepherd.
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Mayor Milan.
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson.
Great, so we're going to leave this meeting, we're going to go into closed session. We don't have to adjourn and come back, do we?
No, ma'am.
All right,
No,
yeah,
we
so we can
can
just
go to
adjourn,
meeting
we're
and
going
come
to,
back.
yeah, so we're just going to call for a close on this. Does anyone want to adjourn us?
You're not adjourned.
No.
You're not adjourned.
But we don't have to come back?
No, you have to
come back.
I just asked if, I
Yeah,
thought we didn't, I thought we did, and I thought you said, no, we don't have to.
You have to adjourn now.
Adjourn now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what yeah, that wasn't my question. Okay, so we will come back and close the meeting following our meeting, as I thought. Okay, thank you, everyone, have a great night. Or, I mean, we'll see you later, bye. Oh, she wants to read it? Does she want to do it right now? Everybody still taking?
Turn your light on.
Okay, we are back from our meeting regarding evaluation for our city clerk, August Kitschlag.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
make a motion. We give the city attorney authority to negotiate the final part of this evaluation.
Support.
What does that mean?
Will you specify, Councilmember Sampson, the authority to negotiate any increase that would then come to council? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Still
We
support.
can still vote it up or down, but just let him figure out what date and which, whatever the money is at that time, or.
But to not be limited to just the wage.
Understood.
Right.
Understood.
What does that mean?
Other stipulations within contract.
Yeah, that's why we got attorney.
Yeah, what you were
In
referencing.
the contract,
The
we're in the
leave,
contract.
leave bank, like the matters like that. It'll obviously be approved by this body at the end. I will present the information based on the conversation, based on the motion, with the conversation with the city clerk. It will present it to you, and you can vote it up and down or modify it further at the time, obviously.
Well, there will be no changes to the current contract.
No, just for this.
I'm asking for clarification.
We're only negotiating that portion of the agreement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want that for clarification because
Yeah.
the other thing, terms
Any-
sounded different.
Any proposed modification will come back to the body of any sort.
It's not just the monetary, though.
Correct.
Thank you. That's the.
So explain that to me then when we say it's not just the monetary, because we were talking about that only. That's what we were just discussing.
So if it isn't, if, for example, if it deals with, and I don't know what August has in mind, obviously, so I'm speculating, but if it is some other portion that deals with, not with the basis of the contract, but, leave banks, things that he's accumulated, vacation time, things of that, it may be something specific that doesn't address the contract overall, but it deals with a specific thing. If it is something that deals with the contract overall, modification of the contract, again, that would also become before the body. We wouldn't be able to do that, so the body may make a
I just
determination.
didn't want the motion to limit only monetary compensation, because there was some give and take. I think that was interested, what the body was interested in, also the clerk was interested in potentially getting to something favorable, mutually beneficial.
That didn't seem like that was a conversation we just
No,
had.
my motion is just, we're here to evaluate him and give him his proper raise or whatever. That's the part where you negotiate that. And then when we're done with this year, then if he wants to negotiate a new contract, then I would give you the authority again to do the new contract.
Very well, we'll do that.
So, now make sure I have this right. Your motion is to honor the current contract
Oh, it's, contract's
or
contract.
to
Motion is to-
renegotiate it all together,
No, motion is to give city attorney authority to be able to negotiate your,
the result of that meeting?
correct. There you go, leave it at that.
That's what you're saying, okay.
And there's a second.
Support still.
Roll call?
Mayor Milan,
Yes.
Councilmember Sampson,
Yes.
Councilmember Shepherd,
Yes.
Councilmember Anderson.
Yes.
Thank you. One more thing. We failed to give the opportunity for the police department to state that they're going to have coffee with the cop. It says, join your neighbors, police officers, and deputies for coffee and conversation Wednesday, October 5th, 2022 at Cave Coffee at 22 South Main Street, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The mission of Coffee with a Cop is to break down the barriers between police officers, deputies, and the citizens they serve by removing agendas and allowing opportunities to ask questions, voice concerns, and get to know the officers in your neighborhood. That is Wednesday, October 5th at Cave Coffee, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. If you have any questions, please contact kbaus at cityofclawson.com or call 248-655-4450. And upon that, I would ask for...
Madam Mayor?
Adjourn.
Madam Mayor, can I please just, I wanted to say thank you to you and the council for the last 90 minutes of your life that you spent with me in the back room. It's been a while. I've been preparing for it. I think, I appreciate all your comments, all your candor, all your suggestions, and I'll take them all into account. So thank you for that.
We appreciate your 1 year and, 3 or 4 months of service to the city of Clawson and look forward to a long, healthy, good communication going on. And that's the world maybe coming to the end, but hey, we'll be
No, it's one of
fine.
your thunder, so.
To adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
adjourn.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Oh, wait,
Sampson?
roll call.
Shepherd.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Milan.
Yes, thank you. Thanks,
like
everyone. Good
that
night.
Quick.